let's get political.
Yay.
So recently, there was a killing in New York.
Mhm.
The United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson. We're not going to mention the name of the fellow who killed him. I think that gives him the attention that he was hoping for.
Mhm.
Now, I think we can take the hot topic position of saying that murder is bad.
That one's easy.
Yeah. But what was interesting was this huge welling of support for the killer. And obviously he's in the healthcare space. And I know that's kind of its own dimension in insurance.
Yeah.
But it's revealing this really nasty, this really cynical part of just where people are at right now. What are your thoughts on people's response in that moment? Do you think that's reflective of insurance as a whole? Do you think people have that when there's people that you meet that have that thought when they're dealing with you?
Oh, geez. I hope not. I'm sure there's people out there that don't like me, but overall, I would say that I hope that they don't feel that way. The sad part about all that stuff is, it's still human beings. It's still people that they don't deserve to be murdered, as we say. And a lot of people looked at this as like a Robin Hood sort of situation and steal from the rich to give. It just didn't happen. It's pinpointing a specific individual and murdering them on behalf of people that clearly feel well represented at this point. Fair enough. That person's going to have to deal with their own consequences, and they get it. It is what it is. The fact is, we've all had bad experiences with insurance over the years, and that's easy for us to all jump into the mob mentality of, yeah, that's right. Get them, get them, get them. Not all of the negative is true.
Right.
And when it comes to a lot of that stuff, I've joked before that you get online and you look at an ad for farmers on Facebook, and the first 2 or 3 are going to say, yeah, absolutely love it. Yep, love it. My agent's great. Everything's wonderful. And then the next 19 go on to tell about how terrible they are.
It's a whole story.
Now you can change the name Farmers to any other company, and it's going to be exactly the same way.
Right.
I would say as an agent that most of the people that have thrown that stuff out either chose not to be insured in the way that they expected that they were insured. It's a big thing for like Geico and other. They get to write their own policy nowadays. And so you jump on, you write your own policy, and then you didn't get covered for the way that you said you didn't want to pay to be covered. And now you get to jump up and scream about how terrible the company is. It's tough. It's tough. And when it comes to an independent side, there's a lot of times that we will point blank say, okay, I'm advising that you have this coverage. If you choose not to have that coverage, it's fine. But I'm going to note in the system that I told you on this date at this time, because if it ever comes out that you're throwing stuff out that, oh, I swear I wanted this coverage, I need to have it documented that I told you to have it on this date at this time. And it's amazing when you call somebody on it at that level, they tend to go, yeah, okay, I think I'd like that coverage.
Right.
It's really easy for people after the fact to blame others. Some of it's legit, some of it's not, but the reputations shouldn't make it so that an individual is now all of a sudden under attack in that. It definitely help change it, help reform, help get the right insurance commissioners elected and in place to protect yourselves in that way. I wouldn't go taking it into my own hands that way.
No, of course not. Well, one of the things that we've also seen, again, at the risk of saying something actually political, I want to try to stay as agnostic as I can. But we saw over the last 5-6 years, certain roles in society like police officers got very contentious for times. And then we saw these bursts of violence targeting people like police officers again. And my first thought when I saw the killing of the CEO, which I know there's a lot of people that have like sincerely awful stories with this one group. Maybe they're entirely legitimate. Maybe they're not. That's not my place to say. There's a lot of insurance agents though.
Yeah.
And if this does inspire, like, could we see another class of civilian be put in a line of fire in some culture war issue again?
I don't think so. I hope this isn't something that later someone goes, remember this guy? Yeah, he once said it wasn't going to happen. And now, yeah, I don't think so. I think that back to what I said about most of the people, when they get into this industry, they are getting in to help people. They're getting in there for their local neighbors. And I'd say most of the local insurance agents out there really care about their communities and are out there putting in their time and efforts to show people that. The CEOs and the stuff like that, yeah, they're not us.
Right.
They're not. So I would say we're at different stories in the same hotel. You know, they want to go and have complaints about somebody higher up. That's fair. That's up to them, and they can discuss that. I didn't put them up in that top story, and neither did you in that situation. So I know that, yeah, we're in the same industry, but I don't think that there's any connection when it comes to that.
Right. That's good, because good heavens, I think we could all use a break from this kind of like high tension, just culture war stuff.
Yeah.
God, it's stressful.